Hi,
Thank
everybody. Welcome to Jumping Instructors Live. We're so excited to have you here today. We're not sure exactly what we're going to do, but we're bringing some friends along with us for the ride today so you can find out more of what we're doing and what Andrea is doing also. I'd like to introduce you to my co-host and producer, and that's Laura Kelland-May. She's a senior Canadian hunter, jumper, equitation, and hack judge and steward, as well as a nationally known speaker. All right, I'm going to pass it on to you.
Well, thank you so much, Randy. I really appreciate you sticking with us here today after we had a little bit of a hiccup here today, but I'd like to welcome Randy here today. Thank you, Randy, for putting all this stuff together. Randy's the founder of the Jumping Instructors Live and also is a speaker. And I'm trying to find my intro for you, Randy, and I can't find it. So I'll find that and I'll
Randy has been in the horse business for over 25 years, certified
yeah,
in
25.
teaching, riding instructors, horse and rider training techniques, business, and marketing. She's also a horse expert witness and legal consultant in the horse business.
Thank you, Randy. That's very lovely. I appreciate you filling that in for me. And we have a special guest here today, Andrea Flanagan
Hi,
from
Andrea.
from Gombach Stables. Thank you so much for on short notice coming and joining us here today. Could you just give us a little intro about yourself?
Well, I've been in the horse industry quite a long time. My daughter started riding at the age of 6. She is now 28 years old, very successful. And I run my own barn, and I have my own students, and I mainly look for very, very good ponies that go in the hunting ring and do well. So, and we
A
trade.
little intro about yourself.
Um,
Uh-oh, we're getting some feedback here.
That's right. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, so Andy, so you have your own stable, and what's the name of your stable?
it's Gombach Stables, and we're in Ottawa, Canada.
Ottawa, Ontario, Canada.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I think you told me, and maybe a lot of people are trying to do this too, but you were leasing a stable, and how many? And hi, Katie. You were leasing a stable, and how many horses, and what was that stable like? And then you decided, yay, we bought some property. We're going to build our own stable and have our horses at home instead of driving and all that type of stuff. But something got in the way, and this pandemic slash lockdown kind of happened. So, how did that change your uh, your timelines and stuff?
Well, it's actually, I mean, I hate to say it, it's been very positive for us, just because we've had the time to come out here and do it on our own property, which was what we bought this property for. We started at the other stables, which was 4 years ago. I started leasing that stable, and it was the original Spiritwood farm, which was run by Joanna McDonald, and she was very, very high up in the dressage world and knew her stuff. And so I had a lot of memories for a lot of people, that barn. And I have my own memories from the barn, but I'm very happy to start building my own place. And COVID sort of allowed us to do that, because with the break from not teaching, no shows, right now I'd be, shows every week. And now I'm sitting by the fire pit looking at my, we've just built some paddocks, and we're putting our stalls in. So we're getting the barn ready to put stalls in, and it's been good for us.
Excellent. Yeah. So I just want to make an announcement here. Robert has just come in, and thank you so much, Robert, for coming here. If you'd like to introduce yourself. Unfortunately, we can't see you, Robert, but we can certainly hear you.
Well,
There he is, the ghost of Robert Robo.
I'm seeing some things happening here. I've got a square on by my name on the thing. I don't know why my camera's not working.
she's been building her stable, and we're just kind of speaking with her about how things are working with this pandemic. And how would you like to be building a stable and business during the pandemic? How would you like to be doing that? I mean, I would not want to be starting out with a new stable, trying to get more business into my stable at this time, because, well, in our area, they're still closed, still locked down.
Yeah. And we don't have, I've been in
Oh.
lockdown since the start. We did try a couple of arrangements where the students could come in just one at a time if they hadn't been anywhere, and we found it was just too difficult. There's so many places in a barn that you touch. Your hands are everywhere, from halters to grooming to brushes to brooms to even opening the door. And that day when we tried it, we made so many mistakes. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So I said, we just have to take, I send my students videos of their horses, and, they know they're in good hands. I treat everybody's like my own. So it's, they've been a good group. I'm very fortunate to have a very, very small but wonderful barn family.
So, Robert, would you like to be starting out with a new stable during this time?
Oops, my camera did something. Anyways, no, I wouldn't. The last farm I built was probably around 90. And I did a lot of it. As far as digging the foundation poles and setting them up and concreting them in. It was quite the production. So I don't think I could do that again. That was 30 years ago.
But imagine trying to do it now. Like, imagine trying to do it now when you're like, you can't. Are you allowed to get people to come in and dig the holes, or,
we actually
I mean, you dig the holes and then you can't go out to the pub after to have a drink.
We actually did.
Who says you can't have a beer at the barn after work? Anyways, no, it would be very difficult. I think most of the contractors in Central Florida are considered necessary employees. Yeah, essentials. Yeah. So they seem to be working. Getting people out there to do the inspections and make sure that the step-by-step inspections are covered are probably the hardest part anytime, especially now. I don't see me wanting to build a stable right now, whether there's a pandemic or not.
How about you, Randy? How would you like to be putting out a new business this time?
I new businesses all the time, but would I want to start any kind of new business right now? I don't know. Some of those government loans are pretty enticing. A lot of the loans they're giving out here in the USA, they're like no payback or anything. So it's a time to think about it. And now everybody's been dealing with the whole situation long enough that they found different ways to work through it. Would I want to start a whole new horse business from the ground? Are you talking like a stable and everything? There's no way. At this time in my life, I've been there, done that, and it's neat. I've loved it. The time that I spent with it, I don't regret any of it at all. But I'm at a time in my life where, I don't like to have to get up at 4:00 every morning. I like to be able to have lunch where I can actually sit down and have lunch, and
Andy,
you know what a weekend is? Do you know what a weekend is? You guys?
Oh, weekend is when your horse gets colic and you have to call a special vet in on Sunday morning at the special call center. Yeah. So, what's going on with your stable right now, Andy?
Well, we in 2 days last week we put in 78 post holes, and we put the poles in. In 2 days we did 78 holes.
Wow.
But we have all our own equipment, so we're pretty good that way. And my husband is very handy, so that's great. Things like we did get we were told that to get sand would be very difficult, and we wouldn't be able to get sand for the sand ring until the end of May. because they're only allowing half dump loads right now, and we need 22. So
That's so exciting for you.
It's exciting, and it's great to have everything sort of done right, because when you lease facilities, you it's not always done the way you want it done. And one of the biggest problems I have is as long as everything's safe, my stress levels go down. But if I don't have everything the way I need it so that the horses are safe, then it gets pretty stressful. And the previous barn was so old. Fortunately, we didn't have any problems at all with the horses or injuries or anything like that.
Are you pretty much running the stable by yourself, or do you have staff?
I do, and I'm not a lesson barn per se. I take a few kids that show a lot of, they're promising, they have their mind into the sport, and I go and find really nice ponies, and I bring them up. Usually I bring them up here because I usually get them from the States. So they come in and we work with them from the age of 3 and up. And so I only really have green ponies in the barn. And the children get to lease a pony, and it's a very, very nice pony, but it's green. So we're always working with greenies, and that's basically what I've done since work forever.
Yeah.
It's a great life.
It's rewarding. You go, going to the shows, getting them out there from the time you pick them up, where usually 2.5, 3 years old, and then you take them out to the show ring, and you get a ribbon. It doesn't matter what color it is, or you somebody says something positive. It's very rewarding, yeah. And taking the kids and having the kids along the way is fantastic. But the barn has always been, it's a dream. But I think it's going to be quite special, and I like to keep it small. Like I said, we're not a lesson barn, so I just take the kids out to the shows, and we have a lot of fun.
Well, what advice do we have to share with her, Robert? What advice would you give for her as she's starting out her new facility? Is there any thoughts that you have to share with Andy?
Starting out a new facility, definitely need to have your turnout space safe, cleared, and ready for use.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, if your trailer's been sitting around for a little while, you got your tractor, make sure you go catch up on the owner's manuals and make sure that you know how to use your tractor and all your new equipment and all that goes along with it. But the biggest thing is just safety for the horses, I think. Trying to make everybody comfortable. Try to make everything accessible so it's easy for the horses to get taken in and out. It's easy for you to see down the barn aisle if you need to supervise. You say you don't have a lesson barn, so that's not a big deal for you. It was for me. Being able to walk out of my office and look down both barn aisles and see everything was great. And out into the ring. It was the way I had it designed. It worked out beautifully. There wasn't any blind spots, honestly. Mm-hmm. So to start out, you want to get your horses safe, and you want to make sure everything's efficient. I found that having the paddocks too far away from the barn was really hard if you have a lot of room trying to walk the horses in and out, especially on a cold morning. Mm-hmm. So having the paddocks close to the barn would be a good, helpful thing. My mind's blank right now. I'm still trying to keep. I'm so sorry.
Trying to keep things easy and efficient for you, right? When you're running a stable. Absolutely. I mean, we also have an added thing here in Ottawa, in North America, I guess, is that you have to think about the snow. And when I think about those freezing rain days, and I guess, Randy, when you were in Minnesota, you're probably thinking of the same thing, but these freezing rain days and having to chop through ice. Now, Andy, did you ever have to chop through ice to get a gate open?
Absolutely. And it was one of the things that was on the way my paddocks are set up, or they literally surround the barn so that we don't have far to go to the gates. We can easily get a tractor into the and we also decided that we wanted to gravel the roadway between the fields as well, so that It's easy access. If somebody has an issue at the gate, which has happened many, many times where another horse flies out, we want that sort of alley controlled as well. So we've put in sort of a little road there. So if anyone gets out, they can
You
only
can close it off.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
just little things like that to make you're not worrying, you're not looking down at the field and you see, one of your clients coming in and you're going, oh no, this is gonna be a flying horse past me in a minute. So, I think things like that, just safety. I mean, it just relieves the stress.
Safety. And speaking of safety, because that's a great point, is the paperwork that's required in today's industry. It's changed quite a bit from when we were younger, right, Robert? I don't know
It
about.
has changed. It absolutely has changed.
I mean, we didn't even have release forms when we were coming up, and now it's like you should have your release form re-signed every year to prove your due diligence and stuff. What paperwork have you seen change in your time, Robert?
Paperwork, well, the bill of sales for one, even in lease agreements, they've gotten some of them have gotten to be 4 and 5 pages long, depending on who owns the horse and
Right.
what they're trying to do with it. I've seen, as far as paperwork goes, actually the bookkeeping has changed so much. Back when I started out, I hand wrote everything. Now we have QuickBooks. Actually, we have a small business
That's right.
tax and accounting company as well, and we do a lot of we've helped a lot of people. And now I'm not the brains, I'm the brawn, but we've helped a lot of people with their small business loans and their PPP stuff and what have you that were having trouble understanding or getting through with the paperwork. And we've been able to be very helpful with that kind of thing. But anyways, back to the question. The bookkeeping has changed quite a bit. It's not long written anymore. Some other paperwork. I didn't used to have anything with letterhead on it when I started out in the early 80s.
Right.
Something like that.
Well,
And it was to be like a typewriter would have been the good one too, but
well, that's what we had back then.
I know, but I mean, you just like you say, you had a handwritten lease agreement. Now it's got to be notarized
And everything. And now it's changed. For example, all the riding instructor certification programs all recommend, because they can't say you have to do this or that, they all recommend that you do like evaluations on your riders and your students at least twice a year, or 4 times is even better, where you physically do a rider skill test on the level of any rider that rides with you, including your staff. And the same with the horses. You have to be able to evaluate them and put them in whatever level of riding they should be ranked in. And it has to be in writing just in case something happens. And we didn't even think about that 20 years ago.
We did not. Absolutely did not.
No, it's just like same sort of thing, is that if you fell off, man, you got back on as fast as you could.
Now you don't dare do that.
No.
Or we don't want to anymore, I should say. We've seen too many people that, because we were all raised in a time where if you fell off a horse, you got back on. But, we didn't know what was really happening behind the scenes. A lot of people, were injured or worse because they didn't know about concussions like they do now.
We also have to display that hold harmless wordage at the barns now.
Yes.
That we didn't used to have to do.
It's required in 48 states now in the United States.
Do you have that, Andy? Do you have your
I don't know
things
if it's
posted?
in Canada. Is it required in Canada?
I think so. I think that's a part of the insurance.
Yes, and what I think Equestrian Canada, or I'm not sure their new name, Equine Canada, they posted today a new waiver for COVID-19 COVID response, and it's a checklist that you have to put in your barn so that when they arrive, your clients arrive, they sign it, they make sure they're signing saying I'm not sick.
It's getting serious.
That actually just came out today, which I think is rather good. They've given us a template that we can use, which is really nice, from a barn in Toronto. And just different ideas of what we were already doing. I mean, I'm not really doing anything at my barn because it's just my family. But when I was at the other barn and I had the farrier come in or the vet, we were definitely disinfecting and doing the right things. I don't think I don't think anything has changed from what they put out today that we would do extra. I mean, you just have to be. It's just you've got to be diligent. You've got to be realizing that this could be anywhere, and you can't see it, which makes it scary.
That's right.
But you know, I think, and honesty will go a long way. From, you know, if you have got, you know, you can sit down and talk to your clients and say, have you been anywhere? Have you been? Because they might not even be thinking that they're in contact with somebody that might have been somewhere else too, right? So you know, if you just have a chat with them, I think that would.
Well, it's just picking up a gas handle nowadays. You know, before we wouldn't think about it, and now you're afraid to touch a gas handle to put gas in your vehicle.
Yeah, and I've
Or
always
the
been.
shopping cart.
Yes. I was just about to go shopping before you called me this morning, but that's a scary event. I mean, I find it very stressful at a grocery store now. So, you know, just things like that.
Yeah, so it's going to be. I mean, going forward with it, it's going to be tough to get clients, get new clients, and you'd say that you get horses, like you get some horses in, ponies mostly. I mean, I don't know, Robert, maybe you know this too, is are you able to sell horses now, or can you sell horses, get them out of your stable, or coming in, new horses coming in?
I don't know what the proper protocol is, but I do know that there are people that are out there actively shopping, and I've just seen them keep social distance and kind of make sure that they're keeping their hands clean and not going into the barns.
Yeah,
Kind of
they're buying off the videos, I guess.
Off the videos. I actually had one lady want to come and sit on a horse that a friend of mine owns at her house. It's not a public stable. And I didn't go, but she worked it out so that they could meet and she could sit on the horse and take a little ride on it. We didn't make a event out of it, but they were careful and did that. So yeah, it's I don't have any sale horses right now, so I haven't been actually faced with having to market and promote them myself. Usually when I did have sale horses, I did that at a horse show because I was on an island and it's hard to get people to come to an island.
Yeah. So how about you, Andy? You actively selling anything now, or you showed us some very nice pictures of some very nice ponies you had? Like, you're breaking up, girl.
Oh, am I there?
Yep, you're good.
Am I okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have anything for sale. Well, I mean, technically everything's for sale, but I mean, you know, you want the optimal time to sell. And when they're not in the show ring, that makes it very hard. You know, people see them when they're in the show ring, people spot them, you know, and you usually get people coming up to you in the like at the shows. So taking that away is it's hard. But then again, like if I've got ponies that are, you know, they're not even ready because they haven't been ridden, so they're not even when they come up with the shows, I don't know how we're going to be scrambling to get these ponies fit.
Well, you're not alone there though, are you?
Oh,
I mean,
no, not at all. I mean, I think everybody's you know, I mean, I'm sure the bigger barns with 50 odd horses, they're very tired. I'm sure they're riding nearly everything, and that can be really tiring. But
so Andy, sorry to interrupt you, but we have a comment here from Marianne Brando. She says, hello, where do you get the template for the COVID-19 waiver?
It is actually on Equine Canada, Equestrian Canada. I'm not sure what their new name is, but I keep calling them Equine Canada. But it's on their site on the front page, and you can download it. And change your name. Actually, you can just change your barn name for the barn name that's on there.
So it's Equestrian Canada.
Yep.
I'll just put the link, and it's on the.
If you go into the COVID COVID news, the template for the business model for our barns is in there, and then it gives you all the links to the different things that you can
Okay, COVID-19 response.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll put that in the comments. So, but I think that's something that you should get from your own insurance. This is for stables in Canada, but Control V. So I put the link in the comments wherever they are. That way, right?
They're on my right on my computer. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
interested. I'm interested. I have
Way
to
down.
renew my liability insurance next month, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, me too. Actually, mine is this month. But go ahead.
Getting back to the ponies, though, I mean, yeah, I mean, normally I would be looking in the States right now, and bringing a few young ponies up here, which I can't really do. So it's stopped. You know what I usually have going out for the end of this year, I would have ponies coming up and in the ring for next year, and I can't do that. So that's a little bit of a downer.
Yeah.
So what are you doing to make income during this time?
Sorry, Randy.
What are you doing to make income during this time?
Well, we have, I do have boarders. So I have some boarders, and they've, they were on indoor board at the previous barn. We haven't got the stalls up and running yet in this barn, so at my barn. So we will though by, I would say August, we'll have them up and running. But I have got boarders. So, and they all seem to be sticking with me at the moment in this transition. I know they're all frustrated because they can't get out to see their horses, but they're looking forward to it. I've had these boarders a long time.
It's a crazy time, that's for sure. We have states here where people aren't even allowed to go see their horses. And now this next week, they're just pretty much turning everybody loose again. It's crazy. Nobody knows what's going on.
Yeah.
So they're lifting your lockdown, are they, Randy, North Carolina?
Not in North Carolina, but several states around us. They're just opening up all the beaches and everything. And it's like just reaching the peak in the United States.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I think something's going on in Ontario, in our province, that I think they're slowly going to gradually open things up. And if anybody has questions that they'd like to ask any of us, or comments regarding how they're running their stables or what they're doing with respect to this outbreak, lockdown, having a business going, we appreciate you putting your comments in the comments. Because we'd like to hear.
And get that link too for the Equestrian Canada COVID-14 response, because I think people in the United States need to be thinking about that also.
Yeah, so it's in there, right? I posted it in there. So I'm not quite sure how that if you have to do some searching around in there. Oh, thank you. There we go. Yeah, you should put the other one up, Randy.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've never heard of a waiver for any kind of an illness. It's crazy, huh?
Well, it's such a different world than what we ever thought it would be. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
So, we would always get freaked out if it was strangles going around our area, right? Or something like that. And here we have this, and
still do. Yeah. So our horse show is going to be starting up soon. We, in our area, they are no shows May and June so far. So we're hoping that something's going to start in July. I'm not quite sure what it's like where you are. If there's people who are watching could comment, what's the state of the horse shows in your area? Are there horse shows going to be starting June, July, August? Some of the big shows, the big shows in Ottawa, the big international shows, the showgrounds have just closed till end of June. And they're even talking about the Royal Winter Fair might not be happening.
They canceled almost everything in the United States. The Winter World, the Winter Equestrian Festival that was shut down early, or the Olympics, everything. What about Robert? With your circle, where are you finding most of the changes?
There's not been, well, nothing's happened yet. We haven't had any horse shows. I'm sorry,
Right.
I lost my train of thought, but they're supposed to start opening it up June 1st. I'm still trying to figure this camera thing out. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's
No,
all
that's
right.
fine. I mean, we can hear you.
Yeah, it's entertaining. Usually it's Patty dropping her phone or something, but you make a good. You're her honorary placeholder.
I
I've already got so frustrated. I ripped my tie off. Anyways,
You said he had a
Something
tie
give
on.
him-
Okay, so here's
Give him a
Dot.
treat, somebody.
Dot Pseudo Graves. Thank you very much, Dot, for putting a comment in here. She says we have a schooling show the middle of May in Brooksville, Florida. Wow. Florida's opening up.
Yeah, my friend told me that she's doing the end gate at a show in Texas next weekend. So
This weekend.
Yeah, this coming next weekend. Yeah, Mother's Day weekend. I'm hearing that she's running an in gate there. As far as I know, June 1st, we can start showing here again. I think that they'll decide to move it forward or not, but June 1st is the opening date for horse shows down here.
What did this one say? USEF shows and AQHA shows closed to the end of May so far.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's and Patricia, where are you located? Like to just put yeah, so that is people are starting to schedule schooling shows. Yeah, so schooling shows are going to be the first on the thing. I know that I had some horse shows locally as a steward, like May every weekend in May, every weekend in June, and they have been canceled. And clinics that I was scheduled to give, they've also been canceled, so are postponed. So things are kind of. Sorry.
This will be the first Mother's Day I think I haven't been at a horse show.
Wow, that's right. You don't know what to do with yourself for real Mother's Day.
Yeah, it'll be.
Well, they were real before, but
I'm curious to see what the attendance will be like.
Right. Well,
for the horse shows or for Mother's Day.
For the horse shows that are coming up, the schooling shows, I really wonder what the attendance. Probably a lot of professionals trying to get their young horses going.
Right.
The medics are going to be on standby.
Yeah.
Sit up, sit up.
Everybody's going to get their temperature taken.
Though maybe I know we had some ordered some takeout food, and it's quite an ordeal getting takeout food. You have to put your hand in underneath the little plastic thing, and like no contact whatsoever. And some places do record the temperature of the people who are there.
I also read, I think I read it right on Equestrian Canada, that they were trying to figure out how the vets were going to make sure that the horses were fit enough to perform. And, because they have been sitting around for so long, and, if the shows just start up like that, obviously some of these horses aren't going to be ready. And I think they're going to do their due diligence to try and figure out who's fit and who's not. So
that may be, I guess, as part of the principles of the EC, that they have to follow those. Like, if it goes into the realm of abuse, then it's going to be tough.
Yeah, I know it is. But looking, I'm looking forward to it. Is it, safely? Hopefully it's safe, because I can't, even at a horse show, you go there and you're touching everything too. So I don't know.
Well, we'll know shortly. And all these people are going back into the theaters and everything. I think we'll know from them before we even get out there.
Yeah.
Oh, everything.
I thought I read on Pony Finals that they were limiting the entries, but I'm not sure what I was reading at that time, but I thought they were limiting the entries this year to Pony Finals in the divisions.
And where are the
Pony
pony finals?
Well, I think I was reading it on Facebook, on the Pony Finals page, that they were limiting, but I'm not sure. Sometimes I just gloss through things, and I'm not really thinking too much about what I'm reading.
Where are the pony finals held?
Kentucky. Sorry.
Yeah, Lexington.
Yeah. And when are they held?
Usually at the end of July, 1st of August, right?
Yeah.
I think it's August 2nd this year.
And we had people qualify from Canada to go to Pony Finals, and I'm not sure with the borders and things like that how that's going to work now.
Right.
Last I read on it, they're loosening the qualification to get in, so they can make sure they had enough. I didn't hear they were limiting entries. I heard they were open and making it easier to qualify to get enough there. So a lot of shows have been skipped. I mean, it's been since 1st of February.
Yeah.
So will they have to adjust the qualifications to get the entries?
They mentioned, I saw in the publication that sent out every quarter that they were figuring out how to make it available to enough people to make it a good competition. They were going to loosen the qualifications up to where you could have a champion and a reserve at a single A show, I believe. I have to get I should probably go and get it so I don't say something wrong. But it seemed to me that they were loosening up the qualification requirements so that they could get everybody there, because a lot of ponies have missed so many shows they can't get qualified. I have a small boat.
Do you have a small what, Robert?
I have a small pony that's in that boat. We didn't get our champion or reserve at a double A show and haven't been able to show at all. And this is the time of year when everybody goes up north and we have the best chance.
Right.
So Patricia says, I heard that too, Robert.
I should probably go and get that book so that I don't tell you bad information. But yeah, I heard that they were trying to make it a competition.
Excellent. Okay, so how many stalls are you putting up in your stable, Andy?
As of now, in the barn that is there right now, there's going to be 8 stalls, and the future barn will hold more, but 8 stalls is good for now.
A lot of horses.
Well, I fill them with ponies.
Oh, ponies, they're the same thing.
I'm a pony person.
It's just cuter. How tall are you?
Sorry.
How tall are you, Andy?
Oh, I'm 5'9". I have the children ride the pony.
Oh.
I do have a 18-hand Hanoverian though, so.
Yeah, I wish I had those pictures. Do you have any pictures of your stable?
I do not know, but I will take some soon. But I have I'm mainly taking pictures of the fire pit right now, which I don't think we should be having on, but it's nice.
Yeah. So I'm just wondering if anybody who's watching or listening here, if they have tips or things that they are thinking about, how are they going to keep on with their business when things are getting lifted. We talked a little bit about horse shows, going to horse shows, and how people are going to get their horses that aren't very fit to horse shows. Well, how are you going to, if you're in the business, going to continue on with your business and keep it developing when this is lifted? I know that I've started already. Actually, I texted Andy about doing some lessons and getting out there to do some more lessons and teaching at her place. And also the other clients that I do have, I've been texting them and kind of saying, hey, when you're ready or when these things are lifted, let's get our schedule together so that we can keep going. And what are you doing, Andy, to drive more business?
I think that I'm sort of in the position where I've got so much on with starting the barn that I'm not really looking at clients or anything like right now. But as far as starting up the ponies and everything, everybody's going to be hacking. One of the things that we couldn't do at the other barn because there was absolutely nowhere to hack. So here we have miles of hacking and just get those ponies out and moving and I don't want to see them in a ring, until I want them to enjoy themselves. I mean, I'm sure the ponies and the horses have noticed the difference too. I mean, it's they need to get back with their riders. Their riders need to get in sync with them. I'm sure the riders aren't that fit as well. I mean, it doesn't take
exactly.
But yeah, just hacking. We're going to be doing.
Another thing you might consider too is thinking about your horse trailer. We talked about this earlier, Laura. Maybe checking the bearings and take a look at the floor. Make sure everything's still in good working order, because when you're ready to go, you certainly don't want your equipment to let you down, especially since it's been sitting for quite a while.
And check those ball hitches. So many trailers get popped off of ball hitches because nobody bothers to check that there's a crack in them.
So, Robert, when you were showing, how often did you check your trailer?
I think when a tire would come off or something. No, I'm just kidding. When we were on the road, usually in between winter circuit and spring, when we would start traveling a little farther, that's when I would get concerned about making sure everything was in order. A lot of my customers ship things themselves. My trailer would carry 6 to 8 horses, depending on how I arranged it. Most of them would get to the show and stay for many, many weeks. So there wasn't a whole lot of travel in Florida. I'm 2 hours from anything, Palm Beach, Tampa, and Jacksonville. So once we got there, well, a lot of people were able to just leave their horses there. Once we started going a little farther, that's when, the tires get hot, and that's when things start to happen. So between winter and spring is when I would typically take a good look and see what's going on with my bearings, with if anything needed to be greased. What does the floor look like? Is there any stress cracks? Aluminum trailers can get some stress cracks in them, so you kind of want to check those.
Yeah. So it's a good time to do some maintenance on your trailer and truck and that type of thing. Oh, look at here. We have Anne. Thank you very much, Anne, for commenting here. I'm just going to read it. Hi, everyone, and a big hello to Robert. Maryland has been on lockdown. So we are taking of all the things we are not had to, okay, we're taking care of all the things we have not had time to do. Also, our remote learning. You are all providing a great service. So thank you. Thank you very much, Anne. Appreciate you putting that comment in there.
And that's one of the reasons we started this, was to share the possibilities, especially for those of you who are business owners, of the technological things that you can do nowadays. Like we're doing Facebook Lives. We're actually paying for a platform where we can have several hosts, but you can get this for free. This is StreamYard. You can stream your own shows. You can connect with your clients. You can do online classes. I think what this time has done for so many of us that are professionals is it's taught us how to step outside of our box of normal, to stretch our imaginations and start thinking of new ways to approach our clients and the possible clients that are waiting to find us in the future.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. So we do have some other programs. Today is Monday, so this is kind of our Monday program. Wednesday, we have a Writer Fixes program, and our guest is Patricia Wilson-Jellerson, who is a USEF judge. Oh, Patty's here. Hey, Patty.
I just popped in for a minute. I have to go fill in some paperwork at the allergist, but
Well, how fun. Good to see you, Patty. We have
Yeah.
Robert over here in the black. He went from the white robe to the black now.
uh-oh.
And that's Andy
Hi,
up in the
Robert.
corner. She's from
Hey.
Canada.
Hey, how are you guys?
And Andy, she's the person that had those lovely little ponies that we looked at on Wednesday.
Oh, Andy, those are great. Your kids ride great. What fun to watch that.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Well, they do. You've got all the right things, and the ponies jump well, and that's a good thing.
Well, and
Yep.
Andy's building a new stable, so.
Oh, all right.
So we're just talking about the program we're having on Wednesday.
Perfect.
Wednesday is
What
the
are we doing Wednesday?
rider position fixes with Patricia. So it's Patty, that's you and me, and then Patricia's going to come, and she's got some nice photos. Going to share a difference between hunter, jumper, different seats, and we've got
Perfect.
a short video of the Ariat equitation final. So we're going to
good.
take a look at that.
Is
And
that
then-
does that have a photo something on it so you can't use it?
No, I hope not. So
I'm sorry.
on Saturday we did some things, and I showed a clip from America's Got Talent, somebody doing some trick riding, and I got a email from America's Got Talent saying I wasn't allowed to show that on my YouTube channel. Anyway,
well, but that's always good to know, right? Right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know why they'd be upset with me showing that.
Who knows?
So that's Patricia's on Wednesday, and then Friday. What's happening on Friday? We doing a Zoom get together?
Well, we were
Yeah.
talking to Patty about whether she wanted to do Friday or switch it to Thursday night. So we're waiting to hear back from that on her.
We can do either one, whatever one you want to do. What do you
No,
think, Robert or Andy? What do you think?
So Andy and Robert and
He's
people who
traveling
are
up.
watching, do you want to do a Zoom call in the evening and have BYO whatever? Bring your own?
Bring your own.
Bring your own. BYO. Bring your own.
BYOH.
I can,
And Robert, will you wear your bathrobe again?
of course I will.
I'm so excited. Okay, guys, I gotta go in. I gotta go in and fill out paperwork.
Bye.
Thank
You're welcome. Sorry, guys.
Bye.
Okay, bye. Good to see you, Andy. Good to see you, Robert. Bye.
Likewise.
care.
Take care.
Tonight we have a new show coming on, and it's the Jay Duke Show. You'll have to catch up with that. And tonight he's got, how do you pronounce his name, Laura? You've got that down so well.
Kelland-May George.
Yes. And he's, for
Name.
those who don't know him yet, he created the 2016 the Olympic course, right? And
Yep.
then he also did,
Rio.
and then he did something. Oh yeah, he did the World Equestrian Festival. So he's been course designing for all the big shows. And Jay is going to have him on as a guest on his show tonight at 7:30. You can listen to the replay, or you can listen to their conversation. I'm sure it'll be interesting. Nothing like hearing the backstories from the. Oh look! Oh my God!
Robert's there.
Robert!
I was gonna say we got like 5
I don't know
minutes
what
left.
happened.
And we're live. Thank you, Robert.
That was so much
That's
fun.
funny.
We know the meaning of persistence now.
I don't know how
And-
I did it. But I don't know
And
how to
that's
do
it. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Have a good day.
Just teasing you, no. Yeah, so tonight is going to be really interesting with Jay on his program with Kelland-May. He's got 2 different courses that he designed in the last 10 years. Are they going to check out the difference between the way jumps were built between 1960s, 1980s, 90s, and 2000s, how the jumpers courses were built differently. And it's going to be quite
And what they're
interesting.
doing to keep them exciting and safe in today's time.
Yeah. So getting back to Patricia on Wednesday, she says it's a private video, so I won't get a copyright hand slap. And it's a client doing the ride off for the Ariat medal. So that's on Wednesday. So I'm really looking forward to that too. Excellent.
So we'll find out.
Robert,
We aren't sure when it is. What's happening is we've started some other private shows within this because we found that that's the direction we're going in. So we're experimenting with different ways to get you the information you need to help you through this time and in the future, because together we all know we're making a difference for each other.
Well, I hope that we are. I mean, just communicating and putting heads together is the key to solving a lot of things. And it's nice, sitting alone and going through Facebook and making a comment here and there. It's not nearly the same. I so enjoy these talks, and please keep me in the loop when you decide what you're going to do this weekend, or this Friday or Thursday or Friday for the chat as well.
Yes. Okay. So
Patty, to make sure that it's a good time for her. So she's thinking nights are better. You're traveling on Friday, though, aren't you, Robert? Aren't you traveling?
I am. I can usually sort of get
Andy's gone.
A signal on my phone and do a hotspot. That usually will let me turn my computer on. I don't know what I did to make the camera work, but it just did. So I'm not going to question it. I just hope it doesn't happen. There
she's back.
I hope it doesn't happen again.
Okay, so we have a question here. Yeah, I think we have a question. I'm just going to put it up in the screen, and it might cover up you guys for a second, so I'm just going to put it up here. Kelly, thank you so much for sending in this comment. I really appreciate it. You're going to be on my next call list. Curious as to your thoughts on online shows. We were fortunate enough to have the staff to keep our horses going during this pandemic. I know that there is been some Western online competitions as well as posts for other English venue. Maybe we could have set some sort of thing for our zone to start, as I thought the last post from our Ottawa area is that everything is now postponed until further notice. Wow. So Kelly is from the Ottawa area. She's
actually a lot of people are doing the online shows now, and they're having a blast with them. They get all dressed up, they put all their outfits on, and they ride in front of the camera.
Yeah, but I think that would be kind of fun. Particularly if you're allowed to get to your stable to do some riding. I mean, some stables are just closed, right? But if you have your own horse, or if you're a private person, yeah. Have you seen any of Robert, have you ever seen an online show, been involved with that?
I've only done the online show with the pictures, and it was equitation only. I was sent 6 pictures, whether it be an adult class, a pony class, and it was actually with Hunter Equitation Holland. It's a group in Holland that's asked me to do that. And I've had to critique the pictures and then pin them according to where they would place based on the picture. And that was fun and interesting. And I got a lot of good response from that. The actual video ones, no, I haven't seen or done those, but I do understand that there's a couple of them going around. I think that Foxley Farms is doing one.
Foxley is doing one? Holy cow.
I think they were doing an online one, and the donation from the classes were to take care of the people that do the in-gate and the jobs that haven't been able to work. That was a benefit for them.
I could see where it could be something in the future with the horse industry, because competitions have gotten so expensive that some people simply can't do them. Maybe that's an opportunity that'll open up for those, because some of us are still going to compete no matter what, but there's some, it's gotten a little expensive at some of the shows nowadays.
This makes for a creative new paths to take.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Good thing we have us there to help them through that process, right?
Yeah.
It's a new time.
Yeah, for sure. Excellent. So I think we're going to wrap things up here. You have anything, last words, Andy, you have for us?
No, it was very exciting. I have enjoyed watching all your programs. So thrilled to be asked to come on, but I don't know whether I've given you any input, but it's very nice to meet you all. And
it's a pleasure meeting you, Andy.
I'll keep watching and looking for. I'll keep giving you questions.
Thank you very much. And photos too. We might be using more of your pony photos. That's great.
Yeah,
How
hopefully we'll all get to go to pony finals
Sure.
together. I'll get to see those ponies in person.
Yeah, I love my ponies.
Are
I
some
hope
of the
so.
ones from the pictures, or are some of those qualified and coming yet? Have you qualified some of those that you showed
Sorry,
the
you're
pictures
breaking
of
up.
the other day?
Oh, we're losing our
No,
internet.
they're not qualified for pony finals. I was in the process of getting. They've just got microchip for the pony finals this year, and we were supposed to go down and compete, but this all happened, so that's the end of that. But yeah, the ponies are very green. I have green ponies, so it'd be nice to get them out in a big class like you have in the States, to see where they're at. And most of them are States ponies anyway, so they're pretty nice.
Excellent.
But
What's
you,
your
Randy?
favorite?
Hopefully we'll be able to compete.
What about me?
Oh, do you have any last words before we sign off?
Well, it's great to see everybody again. Thank you so much to be participating in the process of whatever that we're doing here. And we look forward to seeing you tonight. Come and see the Jay Duke show. You've got to see him talking to Kelland-May. Did I say it right?
Kelland-May.
Kelland-May. And you got to listen to that. And then, of course, we've got Laura's shows that are going to be on Wednesdays now at 1 o'clock, Rider Position Fixes. And who knows what else we'll come up with, but we're doing this for you.
Yes. Well, thanks very much, everybody. We're going to sign off now. Thank you so much and we'll see you tonight at 7:30 or Wednesday at 1.
Thank you.
Use this stuff. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Yay, Robert.